Hello, my love. I am Colette Gallagher with Rich Girls Inc., and we are creating rich and manifesting powerfully. Today, I want to talk about pain and our pain collectively. And I have a question for you. How much pain are you willing and able to tolerate? So, for a lot of us, it's seen as kind of a good thing, like, oh, I'm so strong because I can handle all of this pain. And that's kind of the idea that I grew up with, that life is kind of a struggle, and it's supposed to kind of feel not that great, and that was normal to me. And so I kind of used to have this high tolerance for pain, where I would kind of just settle for things that didn't feel that great because that was my normal. And so I'm asking you, how much pain can you tolerate? And when is enough going to be enough? So let's say you started getting physically ill and you're not feeling well. And maybe it starts out, maybe you have like a little scratch or a tickle in your throat. And then a few hours go by and it starts to get tight. And maybe you start to get a headache. And what do? Do you wait to see if it's going to get worse? Or do you do something to try to feel better? Maybe you start to gargle with salt water. Or maybe you go take a nap. Or maybe you're one of those people that just pushes through it because you think that's what you have to do. And I'm here to tell you that that is not what you have to do. My natural state now is joy and happiness. And I have a very, very low tolerance for pain. Because pain is there to propel you into action. If you're feeling bad, all that means is you need to be taking an action that you're not taking right now. And there's so much to this. There's so much to allowing your life to be painful. And if you're allowing your life to be painful right now, ask yourself why. Where did you get the idea and the belief that your life is supposed to hurt, or it's not supposed to feel good, or that it's okay to be in pain? And when are you going to say enough is enough? Are you going to wait until you're dying on your deathbed before you go seek help? Or are you going to do it at first when you get that tickle in your throat and make it so much easier for yourself to heal? So if you're at that place where you're like, I am done, I am not doing this anymore, I am tired of feeling bad, I'm tired of my body not working the way it's supposed to work, I'm tired of hating getting up in the morning because I either hate my job, I hate my relationship, I hate my body, I hate my life, I hate my finances, I hate, there's maybe you have like tons of stuff that you hate, or maybe there's just one or two things that you don't like right now. And how far are you going to let it progress before you say enough is enough? And that's what I love helping people do. Because when I was growing up, and a few years ago, before I started learning all my processes and all my tools and all of the things that I learned to allow myself to live in a state of joy and happiness, and not the fake joy and happiness where I tell myself that I'm okay when really I'm like dying inside and want to go like drink myself to sleep or whatever you do to cover up the pain. But real joy and real happiness, and if I don't feel joyful and happy, that's okay too. I don't force myself to feel anything that I don't actually feel. And that's part of the reason why I can be joyful and happy, is because it's not forced. And so I have tons of tools and tons of stuff that I learned over the years, and things that I do every single day, and things that I use when things come up, when I'm starting to get that tickle in my throat. I don't wait until I'm sick. I start taking my, garlic with salt water or whatever it is that's going to start to help me at the root feel better. And so, I was in this place where I thought, not being happy was fine. And my feelings weren't okay. It wasn't okay for me to feel. I couldn't be mad. That wasn't an emotion that was acceptable for me to feel. I never got mad. At least that's what I told myself. I don't get mad. I would try to cover up my pain by looking outside of myself and trying to help other people before I helped myself, and trying to see who had problems. I didn't want to look at my own problems, so I would look at everybody else's problems and then try to fix those. And just other things that I would do, like distract myself with TV and with different things so that I didn't have to look at how I was feeling, and I could tell myself I was fine and happy. And I would show up to places and I would meet people, and I felt like I had to pretend to be something, or like I couldn't tell people things about my life. I had to hide parts of my life from people because I didn't think they were acceptable to tell people. I was ashamed of things about myself, and I was afraid people would judge me if I told them things that were happening to me back then. And so I was just very guarded. I was very guarded, and you can't have genuine connection and genuine relationships with anybody if you can't get honest with yourself. And if you can't connect with yourself and start accepting those things about yourself that you're ashamed of right now. And so that's what you do. Like, the first step of healing is to get very, very honest with yourself and realize that covering up and pretending like things are fine, or telling yourself that there's things that you can't talk about with people, you're not going to get true friendships if you feel like you have to hide yourself or hide parts of yourself from other people. So I'm just looking at my notes here, and just, let's see, I allowed myself to stay stuck. I thought I had to be perfect to be loved. I thought I had to have everything figured out. I thought that I had to, basically have everything perfect in order for people to accept me, because I wasn't accepting myself as less than perfect. And I felt like I didn't deserve to be happy. I felt like there was inherently something wrong with me, and that I wasn't good enough. And because I wasn't good enough, then I needed to work harder. I had to try harder. I had to aim for more. I had to be super goal-oriented, and I had to have, a great body, and I had to make millions of dollars, and I had to have this amazing job and know all this cool stuff, and drive a fancy car and all this stuff. I thought I had to do all this stuff in order to be loved. And you can have all of those things, and there's nothing wrong with having those things, but if the reason you want them is to get love, instead of loving yourself enough to give them to yourself, then the motivation is off. And so, if you think that you need anything to be loved, it's just not true. You're perfectly lovable, and that's what I had to learn. I am perfectly lovable exactly as I am. Whether I have the perfect body or I don't, whether I have the fancy car or I don't, whether I have the perfect job or I don't, I'm still lovable. I'm still enough. Either way. And then from this place of being enough and loving myself and saying, okay, well, I love myself so much, I'm going to eat healthy, because I know that's what my body needs. So loving myself looks like, giving myself healthy food, and it looks like doing the things that I love to do, and valuing myself enough to get paid for that. And maybe I drive a nice car because I feel like I deserve to drive a nice car, and I love myself enough to receive that gift, instead of caring like, oh, I want a fancy car so people are jealous, or so that people think I'm valuable. Okay, so there's a difference there, and that's what I've learned over the years. And just that, I thought I was broken. I thought there was something inherently wrong with me. And I thought that if I showed up authentically as me, then people would reject me. And I wouldn't have friends. And so there's just so many things, so many, conditions and beliefs that I took on over the years that were like boxes. And I was taking all of these things and I was packing them inside of me. And I had to learn to let go of all of those. And so, box by box and tool by tool, and just with coaches, I've invested thousands of dollars in coaches, working with coaches to assist me in seeing my stuff. Because a lot of times we block it. And, people that are trained can see it. They can see it right away. And they've probably gone through it as well, just like I have, and come out the other side. So they see where you are right now, and they see the steps that you need to take to get to that joy and that happiness as a normal. And stop settling and sacrificing and feeling guilty and feeling ashamed and getting rid of all of that. So I had a lot of help along the way. And I had to learn to receive help instead of denying that there is anything wrong. And so if this is relatable to you at all, if you're understanding this and you are at that point where you're just like done, where you're tired of feeling bad and you're tired of feeling that tightness in your chest. I had anxiety. I learned to have to get over my anxiety with no medication, because I don't believe in covering stuff up. I believe in finding the root source of it and letting it go. So I got over anxiety, I got over depression with my tools and tips and things that I learned naturally from the emotional root and the emotional causes, instead of trying to cover it up with medication or with denial or with distraction. So these are the things that I've learned. And for the first time ever, I'm going to be teaching you all of my tools and all of my tricks so that you can wake up joyful and excited every single day. And if there's something off and you feel like you're falling into settle and sacrifice, then I have tools to get you back in alignment so that you're in alignment with feeling good, so that things come to you easily, so that relationships are fun and exciting and authentic, and you feel the connection with other people. You feel the connection with yourself. You know what you want and need to make yourself happy. Getting rid of all the things that people tell you you should have, and listening to everybody else except for yourself. Getting rid of all of that. Losing weight effortlessly and easily because you're loving your body instead of punishing it. And just, going after your dreams. And if you, want a different job, then it'll happen because you're going to love yourself. So I am going to be sharing all of my tools and tricks and techniques and all the stuff that I've learned from my mentors. And I'm going to be doing it in an online program that's going to be 6 weeks long. And if you are interested in this, I'll put a link below this video where you can get more information, and also more information on how to work one-on-one with me. So in the meantime, just realize that you do not have to go one more day feeling bad about yourself or feeling bad about anything in your life. Because it might look like this overwhelming mess from where you're sitting, but it doesn't matter how far down the wrong path you've gone. You can just turn around and start going towards what you actually want. And that's what I want to leave you with today is, no matter where you are, stop. Take some deep breaths. Start thinking about what would make you happy and what you want. And start moving towards that. And if I can assist you, I would love to assist you. Have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will see you in the program. In the meantime, keep creating rich and manifesting powerfully.